What's up, everybody? That's my second time saying this because we just tried and it did not work. So what's up for the second time? We're so happy to be back. Excited to record another episode for you guys. We're here with Brian Bagley today. We're
Hi,
excited
Brian.
to have him. We're gonna have
Hey, guys.
gonna have a lot of good stuff. Brian has a very podcast announcer voice, so hopefully this is nice to listen to. Tyler, what news from the student ministry do we have?
I want to make sure everyone heard your voice crack, though, in the opening. This is
Oh
second
my
straight
gosh.
podcast with voice cracks from
Just
Joey Sarge.
let me live my life, man. It happens, okay?
We had a meeting earlier today in my office with Banja and with Ethan, and there were multiple voice cracks. So, congratulations, Joey.
All right.
But yeah, we had our worship night last week with Violet Baptist, and that was a lot of fun. Except for when Joey read the completely wrong psalm. He was supposed to read Psalm 95, which is a psalm of worship and praise. And he read Psalm 55, which is a psalm of vengeance, and like 15 verses longer.
Yeah.
Well played, Joey. Well played.
Thanks.
So,
It was a long Wednesday.
So it was awesome. But Brian, we're so glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Name is Brian Bagley. Here at Jersey, I am our administration pastor. I've been on staff now, really a combination of part-time and full-time. Started part-time in 2005 and went full-time in 2012 and have been here ever since. And so that's what I do at Jersey. We can get more into that if you want to. Married to an amazingly beautiful wife, Terry. Two amazing kids, and so just blessed beyond blessed.
How old are your kids now, Brian?
Getting older all the time. 25 and 24.
Wow, man, that's cool.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. Every time you hear that's another email coming in. So
he's just
sorry
really
about
popular.
That.
It's gonna happen the whole time. But that just
Brian,
shows you how popular Brian is.
Brian, you've been working at Jersey as long as I've been alive.
I appreciate that, Joey. I really appreciate that. So
yeah. So wait, what year did you start working at Jersey?
2005, summer of 2005.
Yep, that's when I was born, summer of 2005.
Good night.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's a quick 18 years for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome though. I have loved every minute of it. Part-time, was always wanting to do more, and then when Pastor John asked me in 2012 if I'd come on full-time, I didn't have to think about it very long. And so it was a big life adjustment. Obviously we don't get into all this for the money, and so it was a big deal to go from what I was doing to what I would be doing. So
yeah, I can also say amen to that.
Yeah, God has certainly provided.
So Brian, you're the administrative pastor. What does that mean? What do you do? What do you do at Jersey? And is it just on Sunday mornings, or do you work
oddly enough, I show up during the week and do things. I would say it probably like this. I mean, it's one of those things, probably just helping us really as a team. Tyler, you know this, just kind of keep the train on the tracks, make sure that the train stays on the tracks and we keep moving. I mean, the fact that Sunday happens every week is kind of crazy. And so there's just a lot to do every single week.
Brian, I feel like you do a little bit of everything.
I think if it doesn't fall on someone else's plate, it usually ends up on mine. And for the most part, I like that for the most part. And so I think the best part about my job is the fact that I get to work with all of our teams on the staff. And so I absolutely love that. Wouldn't trade that for the world.
That's awesome. I also think Brian has one of the coolest offices at the church. Brian, what is your favorite thing about your office? You might have to move your computer to show us.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think things may fall off. Favorite thing about
this is like MTV Cribs right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose some wires here. So there's the door. I got a couch way over there. That may be my favorite. Oh, I put that up because the sun was blinding me. But that may be my favorite thing right there in my office is that right there, the window.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is very rare for a person to have a window down here.
Very rare. Very rare. I remember when Keith Matthews asked me if I wanted to switch offices, and I was in an office without a window, and I think I had my stuff halfway moved into his office before I even answered the question. So, yeah, I was going to move before he changed his mind.
It's a big deal. I think
Big
there's
deal.
only three people, maybe 4, that have windows down here, Brian.
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Big deal. So how did you end up at Jersey? Because you started attending before you even started working at Jersey, right?
Yeah. So I was a student, probably about 15-ish. And my family, we were looking for a new church home. And we were looking at churches in the area and ended up at Jersey. And I'll be honest, I preached a little bit of this in a message not too long ago, but I was not thrilled about coming to Jersey when we came. But it had nothing to do with Jersey. I just didn't want to leave the church that I had grown up in my whole life. But I quickly fell in love with Jersey. It didn't take much time at all. And of course, I have been here ever since.
So, Brian, you've been going to Jersey for 40 years. That's all.
No, it's not quite that long, Tyler. Not quite that long. Man, I'm almost 50. Almost.
Almost?
Yeah.
What does it mean when you say almost?
January.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've enjoyed knowing you, Brian.
Yeah.
So
Pastor Todd handled it fairly well, and I think if Pastor Todd can handle it, I can do it.
well, yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. So you started here at 50. That means you were technically a Jersey student.
I was. Absolutely
They probably
was.
did not call you Jersey students back then. Did they have a special name or anything like that?
You know, I honestly don't remember, but I will say it was the youth group, the youth ministry, not the student ministry back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was one of the youths, not one of the students.
So wait, were you a youth group 90s kid?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Legendary youth group 90s kid.
Late 80s, early 90s.
What kind of songs did they do back then?
Oh, man.
What was like a youth ministry hit?
Youth ministry hit. My goodness. Now you're really... Man. Did a lot of like...
Michael W. Smith even around then?
Oh, man. Yeah. Smitty has been my favorite for decades. Yeah. Yeah. He was definitely doing his thing back in the 80s and 90s for sure.
What is your favorite Michael W. Smith song?
Oh, man. I would say Wired for Sound. This is going way back.
Never heard
it.
Maybe Going Through the Motions. Joe, you need to look both of those up.
Joey, have you even heard of Michael W. Smith?
Let me look. Maybe. I probably heard it on like 104.9 The River or something.
Wired for Sound by Michael W. Smith.
Wired for Sound?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not his one song. What is it like a rose? You know, like
yeah. You know, I could have gone with Friends.
Oh yeah,
that's it right there. Hey, I wonder, are they going to ding you? I wonder if they'll shut the podcast down now.
Yeah, copyright infringement.
Yeah.
We won't be able to make any money on this podcast.
I've done that like 3 times before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't realized we exist yet. They haven't found us.
I don't think they will.
Maybe on accident. So, what was
Brian,
it like?
You kind of look like this guy.
Like Michael W. Smith?
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, show us. You got to hold up a picture. Yeah.
And I wish
I
had
see it.
Put your face to the side, Brian.
I wish I had his hair.
Brian, I think your hair is better than his.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sometimes less is more. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Tyler can attest to that.
That's a true statement. For those of you not watching the video of this can be very confusing. We apologize.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
It's okay. It's all right. They should watch the video.
Yeah, thank you.
Quick solution to that problem. So Brian, what are some of your favorite memories about being a Jersey student or a youth group kid here at Jersey?
Man, lots of great memories. I mean, we did have a lot of fun. I think it was probably my sophomore, junior year primarily. And then obviously into my senior year, of course, but yeah, really sophomore and junior year, had a blast here at Jersey. Trying to think, there is one. I will share one story with you guys. One story. There are a lot of them. So we were at an event. It was on a Saturday, and the goal was somebody had brought in a VW Bug. Do you know what that is, Joey?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looked like the Herbie mobile. You know, from
Yeah,
the
it's-
movie.
Probably doesn't know what Herbie is.
You know who
I don't know
Herbie?
what that is, but I know what a slug bug is.
Yeah. So anyway, the goal was to see how many students that we could put into a VW Bug. We were all about it. I mean, we're thinking, okay, yes, we are all about it. And so we did. We started getting into the car. I have no idea how many people were actually in the car when it started filling with smoke. And so it starts, and quickly, thick smoke. And so I don't know how long it took us to get in the car, but it did not
Vaping is
take
bad.
long to get out of the car. And then somebody started yelling. And as they came out, their leg was on fire a little bit. So, we weren't thinking about this. Joey, I don't know if you know this, but in the bottom of a VW Bug in the back is where they keep the battery for the car.
Okay.
Well, the springs had compressed so much it hit the battery terminals.
Oh.
And they were metal springs. And so obviously the fire and the smoke started. And so I don't know if he still has it today, but he had a nice imprint of a spring all through the back of his leg.
Jeez.
So, yeah, great story. I'll never forget it. It
That
was
is
fun.
a good one.
And this happened in the north parking lot.
In the north parking lot.
What?
Yep.
That's
now,
crazy.
This would have been back before the central venue was even a thing. That was the parking lot at the time. So central
that
venue
was the
was
only
not
parking
there.
lot?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, you have been going here for a while.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So
That's
where
crazy.
when you come out of the chapel lobby and walk into the main lobby, those doors you walk through where the fire doors are, that used to be the exterior. That used to be the exit going out into the parking lot right there. So
that's crazy.
Good times. Good times.
Man,
But
so
yeah, lots of great stories, Tyler.
Who was your youth pastor?
Guy by the name of Mike, and then when he left, I was graduating, and then a guy by the name of Jeff Hyatt came in, and Jeff was fantastic. Love Jeff, but I had just graduated when he came in and started working in student ministry, and so I was like a kind of a helper in one of the groups. And so there was a lead teacher, and I was, just out of high school. So I was one of the helpers for a couple years. And then things kind of took off from there.
So you volunteered in the student ministry.
Did you meet Terry at Jersey?
I did, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, oddly enough, Terry and I actually knew each other in elementary school. We were actually at the same church that I grew up in. But because Pastor Phil, her dad, was in the military at the time, they moved around a lot. So they moved away in the 70s, late 70s, and then they came back in 1990. And then, yeah, long story short, Terry and I started dating not too long after they were back, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Just be clear, you did not meet in the student ministry at Jersey.
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
Everyone hears that.
That's exactly right. Right.
I did not know that Pastor Phil was Terry's dad.
Oh my goodness.
No kidding.
And I
All right.
kind of feel a little dumb now.
No.
That needs to be, Brian, we need to put that in the part of the new member class. Make sure.
Here's what I need to do. I need to walk around with Brian Bagley and just go meet everybody, because I've been going here for way too long to not know the people that I don't know.
Half of them are in Brian's family. I mean, if you do that, Pastor
That
Phil's
is
family.
true. Yeah, Brian, you are related to a lot of people.
Yeah. I am. But I'll tell you what, Tyler, it's crazy. I don't know as many people as I want to know here. We have had so many new people in the last 2 years. Crazy amounts of people.
I feel that a lot of times too. On Sunday, I just want to walk around.
Oh,
so
yeah.
A lot of young families that are new.
Which is exciting for sure.
When I'm up on stage, I don't recognize like 3/4 of the people in there, and it makes me feel kind of guilty. Like I need to go talk to these people.
Man, they'd love to meet you, Joey. Yeah, just head off stage at the end of a service and go meet one person each week.
There we
they
go.
probably
I'm
watch
gonna
our
do
podcast. They probably watch our podcast, so they probably know you.
I am sure they do. Yeah,
because we're insanely popular.
Brian, do you have a lot of people that come up to you and feel like they know you because you're on stage a lot? I mean, you're on staff, but you're on stage a lot doing announcements and different things like that, or you're preaching, and they feel like they know you, but you have no idea who they are.
Yes, that happens far too often. And yeah, I'm with you, Joey. At times you feel a little guilty, but it is hard to meet everybody.
Yeah.
But it is nice when they come up to you and introduce themselves. That's awesome. And so I that will never get old for me.
There you go. If you're a student listening to this podcast, go introduce yourself to Brian Bagley.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I would love to meet every one of them.
And
if I don't know them.
And don't be afraid to meet other people in the congregation too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people at Jersey, and a lot of people that would love to get to know you. There's some really cool people.
Yeah, and if you sit in the middle left with the students and you're listening to this podcast, Brian Bagley was actually the inspiration for that. So there you go. You can thank him for our seats.
Hey, I will say that it has been a blast watching the students on Sunday mornings set up there. And so, yeah, thankful for all of them.
That's awesome. Brian, rumor has it you were the interim student pastor at Jersey at one point. Is that true?
That would be true.
What year was that?
That would have been probably right around 99. Well before Joey showed up on the scene.
Whose bright idea was that?
That's a great question. That was actually Pastor John's bright idea. We had when I mentioned Jeff before, when Jeff left, he actually took a staff position at a church in Texas. So when Jeff left, obviously we started a search for a new student pastor. And that probably took, I don't know, anywhere between 7, 8, 9 months, somewhere in there. And so in that interim, Pastor John asked if I would kind of step in and kind of keep things afloat. And so I said yes, and it was awesome and hard all at the same time.
So are you coming for my job? Is that what?
No, sir. No. No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can keep it, Tyler.
Yep. It's all yours, buddy.
Touch it.
No, I love students for sure. But yeah, God definitely called me to do some other things, but I am so thankful for my background in student ministry. Wouldn't trade it for the world either.
All right, so do you got any stories from when you were interim student pastor?
Oh my goodness.
Or did you suppress all of those memories?
I may have suppressed. Oh, okay. Here's one. You'll get a kick out of this. Okay. So we had very similar to what you guys do on Wednesday nights down in the student area. So we used to do that up in the central venue. Okay. This is before we built the north venue where then the students were for a long, long time. And but we were in the central venue, and we were actually showing a video. So one of the guys that was speaking that night had Bob Fout. It's just a name you ought to know. And so Bob Fout, he had Bob Fout edit the video. And so we're playing the video, to make a point, right? And for whatever reason, the bad words that were supposed to have been edited out did not get edited out. So I knew the movie scene. So when I heard the first one, I'm like, oh, that is not good. So I am walking towards the sound booth, and I knew another one was coming. And then the second bad word happened. And then I was running up the stairs. I'm like, guys, kill the video. So anyway, then, we had to go tell Pastor John what happened. And so before somebody else did. So yeah, that was a good one. But definitely learn to watch the video before running it after asking someone to edit it. So
especially if that person's Bob Fout.
Yeah. So let that be a lesson to you.
Are you related to Bob Fout?
No. Bob and I have been best friends since about the 6th grade.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to make sure.
So a long time.
Brian, where'd you go to school at?
Born and raised Gahanna, Ohio. So I am a Lincoln Lion.
And then did you play tennis there?
I did. Yep.
Look at you. Were you first singles?
No, never got to first singles, but played first doubles.
Nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Who was your doubles teammate?
I had several of them. Bob was a doubles partner for a little while, but bounced around with some different doubles partners over the years. And so, but loved playing tennis. Grew up playing soccer, played soccer my freshman year of high school. And then I didn't want to do it anymore when my sophomore year came around. And then I ended up playing football.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
My high school career. Yeah. So I regret quitting soccer, but had a blast playing football.
Man.
Yeah.
Were you guys any good at football?
No, we were 5-5 my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
We lost
we lost 3 games in a row early in the season, and it was the most miserable 3 weeks of my life.
Dang.
Yeah.
Joey, how was your high school football team? Were you guys any good?
Oh, I didn't play high school football. I was about to say, it's okay, Brian. I tried sports one time and then broke my shoulder and quit forever.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
You tried sports one time.
I just took that as a sign from the Lord.
That's right.
Not just my inability to catch a ball.
Right.
Or run or do anything active that is not a curl.
There you go.
Man. So, Brian, you are pretty active in the community. I mean, you are on the school board at Licking Heights. School board president, right?
Yeah, I'm president this year.
Kind of big deal. Is this true that it's the 12th year you've been on the school board?
It is. It is my 12th year, so it is my third 4-year term. And so it is coming to an end rapidly.
Does that make you sad?
There are parts of me that, yes, I am definitely going to miss it. There are parts of me that I will be glad to pass the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why should Christians be involved in the community?
Wow, that's a great question, Tyler.
I mean, because that's a pretty big role right there. I mean, I don't know if students realize that or not, but school board's pretty big deal. Some big influence there. Yeah,
it is. And that's actually a good word. That's something that I have prayed often over the last 12 years, is that God would just, give me influence. And but I think I would say this to answer your question. Scripture is pretty clear that we're to be salt and light in the world, and obviously that can play out 1,000 different ways. But I think you guys know this. We see it more and more all the time. But I mean, we live in a world that needs more than ever salt, so more than ever needs to have flavor and preservative, more than ever. And then, of course, the world just seems to get darker and darker every day. And so the fact that we've been called to be that light, that's important. And again, that doesn't have to be a school board. That can play out, on a sports team, on your band. It can play out in your classrooms. It can play out in your houses, in your homes, with your families. And so, but it's important. We have salt, we have light, and we need to share both.
Yeah, it's awesome. Brian, if you can go back? I didn't tell you this question in advance, so I apologize. But if you can go back and tell your high school self one thing, like what would it be?
Wow. That's great. I didn't do a lot. I was your typical firstborn rule follower. So I didn't do a lot of crazy stuff. But I would probably, we're all wired differently. Like, I'll watch people sometimes that are really, really, really outgoing. I might have told myself, hey, lean into that a little bit more. Because I've always been very conservative, very reserved. And so I might have said, lean into being outgoing just a bit more.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. Joey, got any questions for Brian? This is the part where we're putting him on the spot. We asked him all the questions we told him we were going to ask.
Let me think here.
Brian, we normally do a quote of the show. Do you have a favorite quote?
Oh my goodness.
You know what? You just stole my question, Tyler.
You already gave us a song. You already gave us a song.
A quote of the show
by the Michael W. Smith. I don't even know if our students have ever heard of Michael W. Smith.
You need to play that. I say Wednesday night you play that as pre-service music as students are walking in.
Oh, is that the hype? Our hype? Add it to the hype playlist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you a few songs. It'll get them going.
All right. We'll get some songs from you. And so,
Wow. So many great quotes. So many great quotes. I don't even know where to start. I'll probably be mad at myself when we get off this, and I'll probably be like, dang, that was the one I should have shared. But since I'm such a communications nut, I will just say this. I've learned this the hard way at times, but it is not what we say, it is what people hear. And so you have to remember that. Joey, remember that, especially if you go into ministry, really whatever you do. You could have this thing mapped out. You're going to say it in such a way. It's going to be awesome. And you could say it, and it's not what you say. It's what people hear. That's communications 101.
that's deep.
That's deep.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Brian, I want you to know this too. You have probably one of the best playlists on staff. We often hear other people's music, their doors open or things like that. And oftentimes I hear the Rudy soundtrack playing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brian's office. And it makes me emotional because such a great podcast.
It does.
Playlist and soundtrack.
Man, Rudy is one of my all-time favorite playlists ever. I'm a big movie soundtrack guy. But
I've seen that movie.
Rudy is way up there.
You've seen it? Yeah,
I've seen that movie.
Classic.
Is that brownie points with Brian? Because I've seen Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
Joey, can you tell us what Rudy's about?
It's about the guy from Notre Dame that wanted to play football, but he couldn't because he was tiny or something.
You got it, buddy.
And then didn't he get to play in the end for like a little bit, or he just made the team or something?
Oh, he made it in the last game of his senior year. They put him on the field.
Yep, I remember. I watched it with my dad, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that's a great movie right there.
I'm gonna listen to the soundtrack on my way home.
It is inspirational.
Very, very.
What's the best one? What's the best song on there?
It's a song called Tryouts.
Tryouts. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna listen.
We'll link it in the description.
I like
there
it.
We go.
Yep. That's a good
We
one.
might not link Michael W. Smith, but we will the Rudy soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, I'm
man.
curious. You got to play a little Smitty on Wednesday night. See what the students say.
They might be a little confused.
They might be. Yeah.
But would it be posted? I mean, I just sent Joey a playlist the other day of songs that we sang when I was in youth group.
Yeah, I still haven't listened to that.
But that was that was like 2006 through 2009. So
hey, there would have been some good stuff in there, Joey. You need to take a listen to that.
I will.
Sure.
I promise.
Yeah.
There were some classics.
I'm really looking forward to listening to the Rudy soundtrack, though. So that might be first priority.
It's pretty life-changing. So
can't wait.
Joe, you got anything else for Brian?
Brian, what has been your most impactful moment or project type thing at Jersey?
Cool.
Or just your favorite?
There have been so many projects over the years. Had a lot of fun with our Believe campaign. Just trying to pick one. So in 2018, our Believe campaign, when we were looking to do a lot of the renovating for our student spaces, the Shalom Center, our kids spaces, that was a lot of fun because that was a big lift for our church. And so just to talk about communicating, that was one of those things, you want them to hear what you're saying. And so we put a ton of work into that. And in true Jersey fashion, Jersey stepped up and hit it out of the park and made all those renovations possible. And so it's one of the things I'm so thankful for about our church. They're just such a giving, faithful church. And that was one of my favorite projects. There've been a ton, but that's one of the top.
Awesome.
If you're unfamiliar with the Believe campaign, that's when we did our capital campaign efforts in raising money for our renovations, which renovated the kids ministry space, student space. We did not have a student space like that at all until the fall of 2019.
We had 40/20 and the North venue.
And the North venue was a shared space.
Yeah.
And even before that, we had the game room, which is really where the Shalom Center's at now. And that was also kind of a shared space as well, a little bit, or we didn't use it on Wednesday nights. And so we're super blessed to have the student space that we do.
Yeah, I
So-
think that still has to be, it's hard to believe, Tyler, that's already 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I
Wow.
still think it's got to be one of the best student spaces in all of Central Ohio.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We're incredibly blessed to have that.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
so thank you, Brian, for all your hard work and effort and what you played and did
Yeah.
to be a part of that.
That was awesome.
So,
Yeah.
Brian, thanks for joining us today. We had a ton of fun, and we'll have to have you on here.
This was awesome. You
Again,
guys
at
weren't
some
too
point.
terrible. You guys didn't send me any major curveballs, so I appreciate that.
I could think of a couple. You
I
better
bet you
tread
could.
lightly
I
there,
bet
sir.
you could.
Do
So-
not challenge Joey on that. Yeah.
Yep. I will say this. I will say if ratings don't plummet too much after this video cast podcast, I'll come back on.
I think it might be a good idea to have Terry on. She's such a loyal listener. I think it'd really just be the opportunity of a lifetime for her.
Well, the problem is people would like her a whole lot more than they do me, and so
Oh yeah, right.
yeah.
Well, she is only allowed to be on the podcast if she brings us sourdough bread.
I bet she would do that.
Yep, that sounds
She's-
fair to me. I like it. It's good.
She's a
I like it.
fantastic cook, but she also baking is. She's
yeah.
even better at baking. Like,
Oh yeah,
the sourdough bread's incredible.
yep. I
And
love
so-
it. I love it.
And she volunteered in student ministry for a long time.
She did. Yes, we served together for many, many, many years, and then when I got out of it, she kept going.
Wait, one last thing, Brian. You remember when
Yeah.
you went to summer camp with us that one year? Like, was it 2016 or something like
And
that?
did some of the video stuff.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. We had to beg you to go.
Yeah, nobody told me you don't get to sleep a whole lot if you're the video guy.
Yeah.
When you guys do
put
video
in a lot of
recaps
work
every
that
day.
week.
I should have asked more questions.
Yes. We're glad you did not ask more questions.
Yeah. That was a blast, though. I had fun
It's good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
for sure.
Well, I think we're going to let you go for real this time after our little Midwest goodbye right there.
Yep.
But
That
we
sounds good.
appreciate you getting on, and we'll have you back on here again sometime.
Yep.
All
Thanks,
right. Well,
Brian.
yep. Appreciate both you guys.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.